What's up and welcome to another episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. Today we're taking a look at the new ROG Ally X, which costs $100 more, provides an additional 500 gigs of SSD space, has an upgraded 2280 SSD slot instead of 2230, so you can use full-size and double-sided SSDs. This has some thermal upgrades, acoustics for the speaker upgrades, additional ports, and double the watt hours on the battery. So literally under the same load, theoretically, it should get pretty much double the battery life across the board, whether you're doing light tasks or heavy tasks. The additional USB-C port and USB 4 compared to the XG mobile slot on the ROG Ally should give this quite a bit more versatility as well. So, you know, before with the Ally, you'd have that one USB-C, then you have the extra slot that's the proprietary XG mobile slot, and that prevents the ROG Ally from having as much versatility and usability for plugging in externals unless you're using a USB-C dock. I really like the spec changes for the Ally X. The main downside with the Ally X, of course, is that it weighs a little bit more and it's a little bit thicker, but for all of those trade-offs, only costing $100 more, it's a pretty massive upgrade in my opinion, and if you have the extra money, I feel like the Ally X is a no-brainer buy, considering it also has 24 gigs of RAM compared to the 16 gigs of the Ally, which can be very useful because it's a unified RAM support for both the GPU and the general RAM, so you definitely can utilize that extra 8 gigs of RAM in a lot of games, because normal Windows is going to take up several gigs of RAM just to run Windows. And then you have the games that also need the additional RAM. And that means that on the original Ally, certain games you're gonna have to turn the textures down to medium or low a lot more often than the Ally X. So that's another huge boost. So double the battery life, double the default SSD size, same display, pretty similar ergonomics. Whether you like the new changes to the ergonomics or not, is going to be up to you actually getting your hands on the Ally X, being a little bit larger, the triggers and shoulder buttons being a little bit larger and more rounded, the rear button being a lot smaller, which I think some people might actually dislike. Initial impressions of the rear button ergonomics was not quite as good, but maybe it's just something I have to get used to. So the Ally X joysticks have also been improved to be slightly more durable. And then there's also the joystick upgrade path with GUI kit. If you want to change your joysticks out at a future point, the Ally X does support that feature where the Ally does not. The D-pad also has been redesigned on the Ally X. Honestly, I think I like the original Ally D-pad a little bit more personally, the way it feels. I personally also like the original white color of the Ally. I'm not as big a fan of the dark black. I don't know. I've always liked white products when it's available. It's just my general preference. But the Ally X still looks good. You still get the nice holographic strip on the back, and I suppose the black plastic will also make the Ally X a little bit more durable in terms of spilling or staining it. But, I mean, just don't spill stuff on your electronics, I guess. The original Ally I thought had pretty decent thermals. The Ally X does have upgraded fans providing additional airflow as well. So those are the key differences between the Ally and the Ally X. I feel like a $200 difference might warrant going with the Ally instead of the Ally X. Given all of the spec and design improvements that the Ally X has, at $800 versus $700, I think it's a no-brainer, with the primary reasons being the SSD upgrade, the RAM upgrade, the port changes providing additional flexibility, especially if you want to use this as almost like a full replacement for your desktop, because now with the additional RAM and the USB 4 and USB-C ports, it definitely becomes a lot easier to use this like a full desktop. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more gaming content. I'm here at Computex right now. I'm here at Computex right now. We're checking out all the latest hardware from Asus, MSI, Acer, XMG, and other brands as well. We'll see you in the next one. Brandon out. Zah.